A and Jason Whitlock. What the hell is going on with Stephen A and Jason Whitlock, y'all? What's happening with Stephen A and Jason Whitlock? I don't know what is happening with Stephen A and Jason Whitlock, but I'm starting to see this junk all over my timeline. Shout out to Kwame Brown. I seen Kwame Brown was doing a reaction to it and all of that. What is up with Stephen A and Jason Whitlock? I'm going to review it a little bit. I want to play to see what's going on before we get to the money. Because I want to review the results of what happened into this recently opened casino over in Chicago. But let me see what's happening with Stephen A and Jason Whitlock. Because Stephen A just did a whole live stream. Actually, you know what? I'm going to check it out a little bit right now. Then we're going to switch over to the money. Because I'm going to save this for after hours. I want to give my thoughts. I want to go through and figure out what's happening with Stephen A and Jason Whitlock. So make sure y'all tune in to after hours tonight. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. You with Whitlock on this, Fi Brown? I don't even know what's happening. It's a lot of people that's dividing themselves. All right, so let me see what's happening.
There's a few things going on in the world of sports that need to be addressed, but on this particular day, they don't take precedent. Instead, one would be Aaron Rodgers and his situation with the Pat McAfee.
I don't want to know. I don't care about that. Let me see.
Matter. He's got my support. He's got my support. The ESP case got mad love for him. Wish I could watch him on the air talking about sports, not rambling about COVID and immunization and vaccines and all of that stuff. Even though some points he was making, I heard him loud and clear, because there's a lot of people that believe, just like he believes, that our government spent a lot of time lying to us, but that's a different subject for another day. But that brother is an all-world quarterback, a future right now. Jason Whitlock.
All right, here we go.
I said that name. It's not a name I've uttered. I normally don't do that. But it's necessary to do now. I've had enough of that fat bastard. That
Hoppo. Did Stephen A. Smith just call him a... No, he didn't just say that. Whoa. What is happening? It is getting messy in the sports world. Ever since Cameron and Mace came out, what it is, everybody is starting to get a little bit spicy out here in these YouTube streets. Wait a minute. You got grown 50 and 60-year-old men calling each other names? Shame, insults, and guilt? Jesus. What is going on? What is happening? Now he didn't just say that. Okay, hold on. Let me rewind this. I got to get the full context. I wasn't expecting that. All right, Vern. I need to understand what's going on before we move this over to after hours today, because we're going to do a whole segment on this. Let me see what's going on. And if a lot of y'all don't know that, last year I actually had Jason Whitlock cam up on the show, and we had a really good conversation.
It's necessary to do now. I've had enough of that fat bastard. That piece of shit.
Hold on. Give me a second to figure this out, y'all. Hold on. What is going on? Does this not affect Stephen A.'s Disney content, or is he trying to really create himself to be a villain right now? No, he did not just say that to old Jason Whitlock.
Necessary to do now. I've had enough of that fat bastard. That piece of shit.
This is not the way we go into the new year.
And I want to make sure that before I go to break, I want anyone out there who watches me, anyone out there who knows me, anyone out there, no matter what you think of me, I want you to remember, I never talk about him. I never talk about my colleagues.
Y'all gonna make me keep the gray in my beard.
This is a first. but it's necessary. And when I say don't talk about them, I don't mean don't talk about them literally. I don't get in on them like I'm about to do now. I literally called my pastor and asked for his forgiveness and understanding in advance, because he's not going to recognize the person he's about to hear. I did the same when I emailed the bosses at ESPN. This is my podcast. I own and operate this. I do what I want on this podcast. But it doesn't mean that I still don't harbor a responsibility to at least give my daytime employers a heads up as to what I'm about to do. My sisters, my nieces and nephews, my boys in the industry, everybody that I could reach out to in time has been warned. It's time for me to address this. I'm only going to do it once, because this bastard is worth less than a damn cockroach.
Jesus.
He wanted my attention. He's got it. The Stephen A. Smith Show.
What is the issue,
Don't
though?
touch that dial. We'll deal with the fat bastard himself right now.
What is the issue?
Let's roll. So much that's for.
Just open it. Just open it.
My new book on paperback. Right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. By the way, that quote from Aaron Rodgers, this quote out the subject at hand. As a black man sitting in this seat, the level of vitriol that I have to absorb is something that I understand 99.99% of the time.
I'm going to revisit it tonight. I just need to get a general idea.
You're a
of what's
former
going
player and you want to crucify me, that's fine. You're somebody that was involved in some kind of public incident that I had to speak on, whether you're the wife or ex-girlfriend or some of a former player or whatever. I get it. You're a present-day athlete and you don't like my evaluation of what has transpired before our very eyes and what I'm witnessing. That's cool. But I swear to you, on everything that I love, it's not personal.
I'm going to have to hit up I'm gonna hit up Jason Whitlock and see what's happening out here in these streets in real life.
I'm a sports reporter and sports commentator. That is what I have been throughout my career. It is my responsibility to tell you what I see through my lens, how I feel about it, what my perspective is, etc.
Send it to me, JP. I'm going to react to it on After
home
Hours tonight.
with absolutely nothing to do and no obligation to touch on anything, but I feel the need to invoke and ingratiate my thoughts, opinions, etc., upon the world. I actually get paid to do this.
What does that mean?
And because of that,
So does Jason Whitlock.
sometimes my opinions, my thoughts, my feelings, etc., are things that you would not like. But I have never lied to you. Ever.
I'm going to speed this up because it's a little
If
slow.
I wrote a story or I wrote an article, it's based on the things that I've been told, what I've seen, and what I feel. It is rare that I talk about myself on a personal level because my personal life is not anybody's business and I don't get into other people's personal life.
If he just said that he reacted to what was happening in Jason Whitlock's personal life, but then he says that I don't get into my personal life because my personal life is nobody else's business. What? And again, I'm just going based off of purely off of not being informed because I'm going to break this down and I'm going to do a little bit of research on After Hours tonight. How can you say my personal life is my business, but everything that was going on in your personal life, I had to write a report on it? And then you say it's just business. But you're a public figure. And so if Jason Whitlock then take you to task and he say, oh, okay, well, you a public figure too, and I got a microphone now, and so now I can say whatever it is that I want to say because apparently your car is telling me and the people in the chat is saying that Stephen A's perspective of what his life was like ain't mathing. Is that not hypocritical? Correct, Azriel. You wrote a whole book about your personal life, and now you saying, but it's off limits? Shout out to the conservative chick. I'm going to read that super chat.
It's not something that I do. Many figures in the world of sports find themselves in personal situations, not lawlessness, not unlawful things or anything like that, but there's plenty of situations, Michael, Sherry, Juvie, where I've seen certain things and I turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to it because it's none of my business. And I leave it alone. And one of the other things that I never do, I never attack my colleagues. I might disagree with something somebody says or does, and I might have an obligation to speak on it because it's in the news or whatever, but I don't speak against my colleagues. Once humanity comes into play, that's a given. Here's the
I've heard him speak against Max Kellerman on other interviews about how he didn't want to work with him and stuff like that. Hold on, wait. Not you playing the hit dog holler card. I've heard him literally talk about Max Kellerman. Am I off? And Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless is one of the people that helped put him on. All right. I'm gonna just let it play for a little bit more, and then we're gonna move over to the next thing.
The other. That's not real work. Think about this for a second. I'm supposed to be covering sports, but I make a career out of talking about my colleagues. That ain't work. That's you finding some slick way to get a check because you can't get a job.
Oh, and he said something about Kwame. All right. Listen, we're going to break it down on After Hours with Anton Daniels. Make sure y'all subscribe to that channel. We're going to kick that tonight.
And Whitlock. That's who the hell he is. Now, I have sat back for years, at least 9 to 10 years, saying absolutely nothing about this man. I never uttered the words fat bastard out of my mouth until a few months ago. So that means that the previous 9 years, you never heard me speak on him at all. But now it's necessary. Excuse me. Because you see, if you listen to the fat bastard, I didn't play high school ball. Even though my coach's name was Harvey Stoller, it was Thomas A. Edison Vocational and Technical High School. I played there my senior year. I was in a basketball tournament at Fashion Institute of Technology where I dropped 27 points and got a scholarship because the coach came calling me after that and what have you. If you listen to him, I never had a scholarship to Winston-Salem State, even though it's on the books. Just call the university. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an honorary doctorate member. I have an honorary doctorate from Winston-Salem State University because of my contributions to Winston-Salem State. I'm called Dr. Smith. Has something to also do with the contributions that I make because I believe about upliftment. I'm an ambassador for HBCU Week, and I've partnered with Ashley Christopher and Mir Persicki in Delaware and others to generate over 10.
So I'm guessing based off of what y'all saying in the chat is that Jason Whitlock basically is questioning Stephen A's past and how Stephen A has responded to it. But here's my question. Why is he resulting calling him names? Why don't he just dispute what Jason Whitlock say and say, no, listen, he got it all wrong or he a liar or whatever? Why is he resulting in calling him names? Why is he resulting in calling them names? I don't understand. Somebody said the Fashion Institute of Technology. Why is he resulting in calling them names? Why don't he just address whatever it is that, see, when people automatically come in and they start calling you names, I already know what it is, but let's continue a little bit more.
10,000 scholarships, in excess of over $65 million in scholarships for African Americans. But this man will tell you I'm lying.
Puff got an honorary doctorate too, and I think DJ Envy got an honorary doctorate also, but neither here nor there.
Even went so far as to say my autobiography, where I talk about my mother, my father, my sisters, The business, my hiring and firing and rehiring at ESPN. I didn't write it. I didn't write my own memoir, which, by the way, is a New York Times bestseller, something he wouldn't know anything about.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Did you know that it's now on paperback? It just came out yesterday on paperback.
What does
Do you
that
know
have?
that you can go to Amazon.com, straightttothebook.com, or a bookstore nearest you to get my book in paperback? Do you know that when people are normally selling 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 copies, I've sold over 400,000? Did you know? Did you know? Did you know?
What does that have to do with
But
anything?
he will tell you, I didn't write it. He's seen my writing. Really?
What does this have to do with anything?
This article is an article written on Deadspin.com. The title, How Jason Whitlock is Poisoning ESPN's Black Grant Land. Because remember, Bill Simmons, who's now at Spotify doing a great job, obviously had Grantland at ESPN, and upon his departure, Jason Whitlock was supposed to take up the mantle and create a black website for folks. This article was written by a Greg Howard, published on April 27th, 2015.
No. I get that he marketing his product, but I'm trying to understand, what did Jason Whitlock do wrong? I'm still trying to figure out what Jason Whitlock did wrong, outside of the fact that apparently they got this long-standing beef, according to what the chat is saying.
Same Jason Whitlock that said he's seen my writing. The same Jason Whitlock that implied that I couldn't write. The same Jason Whitlock that said that I'm lying. What does this man do? Why would I call up this article? There's a plethora of reasons why I would do so, ladies and gentlemen. One of the reasons would be because it's as in-depth as it gets about how scurrilous, how trifling, how despicable this man is. But there's also another reason that I'd pick up this article. Let me read the graph to you that it says. Keep in mind, Stephen A. can't write. This staff, the one Whitlock was praising by way of warnings that if the writers and editors wouldn't align with his vision, he would get rid of them, was not the one Whitlock wanted. The Undefeated, because that was the name of the title before it ultimately became And Escape.
Y'all say Jason Whitlock exposed his basketball career, and he also said that he didn't write his book. Listen, I can't wait to get me a ghostwriter where I could just give him the ad libs for whatever it is in my book. When I drop my book, yo, either I'm going to do it one or two ways. I've been trying to figure out what my book and my autobiography is going to be like. And either I'm going to have to just like do it audio to where I'm speaking it and it just automatically started writing as I'm speaking it, or I'm going to get me some help. Man, I ain't got time to be sitting here typing out no book. I don't know why that's such a bad thing. Is it a bad thing for you to not write your book, but for you to still have an autobiography? It's people that travel around and follow Elon Musk in order to write his autobiography. You still selling books? What difference do it make? Make sure Jada is not the ghostwriter. I'm still, okay. Let me just listen to a little bit more. He put his reading glasses on. He put these on right here. All right, Steven.
The Undefeated was originally meant to attract the best and brightest young black talent in the country, with Whitlock's aim set so high that he at one point seriously tried to recruit the Atlantic's Ta-Nehisi Coates, the sharpest cultural commentator in the business today. As things worked out, though, those young writers comprehensively refused to work with him.
It is wealth-building journey.
So did big-name ESPNers like Howard Bryant, Jamel Hill, and Stephen A. Smith. I couldn't write, huh? While you were on Blaze TV, spewing that bullshit to people. Did you tell them that? Did you tell them how you stood outside of First Take begging me to talk to you?
What?
Did you tell them that once this same article in Deadspin came out, weeks later you wrote a lengthy apology to me in an email, begging me to forgive you, pointing out how you were betrayed by this particular writer, so you know how I must feel that you betrayed me? Did you tell the folks that, you bitch? Did you tell them? You fat piece of shit. Did you
You know, this don't even seem, when I hear Stephen A. cursing, honestly, I a couple different things come to mind. Number one, the way Stephen A. curse, it's almost like it's almost like he's not supposed to be cursing and he's not used to cursing, but that he cursing in order to try to make it a seem. You know how when you talk to people and it's like, oh, you don't even really curse. But then again, you could talk to a totally different person and maybe they curse a little bit too much and they've been working their whole life on not cursing. You know what I'm saying? This kind of seemed like you ain't really want to curse, but you have to get it up out of you in order to try to make sure that you said it. It don't sound right.